So happy Sunday, everybody. Today is October 30th. One of the things I'm pretty pumped to share. So let's see, last night on my ride home from hanging out with my Family Division crew, um, I was listening to one of Tim Ferriss's podcasts, and he was talking. He drunk dialed a bunch of his listeners, and he said, um, one of he drunk dialed them, and then they would ask him a question. And so one of them asked some advice towards his children in high school, and he said one of the main advices, sadly, this might sound kind of preachy, but is that you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. I love this concept. I forget what idea it is in my book, Ideas Over Coffee. But one of the things I try to do often is thinking about who am I spending time with? Do they have the kind of mindset that I want for myself? And so I was thinking about it today. One of the things I have scheduled into my week is that every Sunday, 9 a.m., I call and talk to my friend Robert, who I've done an interview with here on my YouTube channel. And it's kind of the way that, when we don't see each other on a day-to-day basis, it's how we keep in touch. And one of the things this summer that I really wanted to do was learn how to do a backflip. So I started calling people. So I called up two of my cousin and one of my friends, and then I called my other friend Nellie, and I said, "Hey, I was gonna try to practice a backflip today and didn't want to hurt myself. Will you spot me?" And she's like, "Yo, I'm down with it." And so I went up to Nashua, and we practiced for like an hour. And I decided I was a little too nervous, so I spotted him first. And within like 10 minutes, he did his first backflip. Never done it before.
That was probably the best one yet. I don't know. That felt like you were way more on your own.
That felt like, God, what the fuck is going through my mind right now? Fuck! Shit. Shit! Let's go again.
Long little cheek.
Long little fucking cheek, bro.
And so he's one of the people I decided to actually change my favorites on my phone. So I wanted to think about, all right, maybe rather than think who I don't want to hang out with, who do I want to hang out with? And he was one of them. So now he's on my speed dial. So Robert and him are two of the people that I'm trying to consistently have be a part of my life. Because I would love to have a fifth of me be an average of them. So yeah, really excited. So I didn't quite land a backflip today. I got my feet on the ground. I had to kind of catch my fall a little bit, and Nelly helped me not injure myself. But what a great morning! I was back to this house by 1 o'clock, and I had already come really close to doing a backflip. Helped a friend do a backflip that he's never done before. Get a little run in, and Skype call my friend Robert. So the next thing, when I came home, what I had scheduled with Alyssa was our monthly report card. So when I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he talked about the fact, students before they're 18, right, they're in school, their report card is, did they get A's, B's, C's, D's, or F's, right? So for adults, some of us have performance reports, and some of us, you could even say we have financial report cards. There's no necessary report card to have in life. Once you hit 18, it's just the money in your bank account. You don't have to watch where it goes. You don't have to watch where the money goes. You don't have to track it. But one of the things last year when Alyssa and I said that we really wanted to get out of debt, we listened to this book by David Ramsey called The Total Money Makeover. And so we started doing that. And so he has this concept of snowballing. So you start paying off one debt, and then the monthly payment towards that goes to the next one. And rather than doing what's mathematically more useful, he does what's emotionally more useful. So most people think, all right, well, I'll pay off the debt that has the highest interest. But what people don't do is they don't get excited about that. Say you have $20,000 of debt with 6 or 7% interest. Sure, you might want to pay that one off first because more interest is accruing. However, you're not going to get excited paying an extra $100 or $2 on that every month because you're not going to see many results. So what Dave Ramsey says, instead, put your debts in order of principal. So say you owe $1,200, but interest rate's 2 or 3%, and then you put it in order of how much the total principal is, rather than the interest. So we did that, and I'm excited to report that we've knocked off one of our debts this month, one of the credit cards. We no longer have any credit cards that we owe money to. I just have student loans and a car loan. And we are also more than halfway towards our goal, towards raising money to buy our first house for the deposit. So last month we were just under, and now we're just over our goal of that. Also, one other thing I wanted to share along that, one of the quotes from Dave Ramsey that I really loved was, and we have it written on the inside of our little binder here. It says, live like no one else so you can live like no one else, right? So he says that a lot of people have to make sacrifices towards their financial goals, but they're gonna have to live like no one else to make those sacrifices, so that afterwards you can live like no one else and have no debts. So that's what we're working on. So what we start out by is, well, at the beginning of the month we write our expected income, right? So I have a teaching job. She works as a veterinarian technician. We write down our expected income for the month. We write down what we have in savings, what we have in our IRAs, what we have in our different accounts, and then we write down what our debts are. And then we write down our expected costs. So how much we spend on groceries, how much are we spending on car payments, gas, student debts, like small things, coffee, like how much towards UML, how much do we want to spend on Christmas gifts this year, how much towards rent. We don't pay rent, but instead we take the money that we would pay rent and put it towards our deposit. And then we look at, all right, how much after all these necessary things, some of them aren't necessary, but how much towards the necessary things do we have left over? And then we decide where to allocate it, right? We can decide we can put that towards debt. We can put that towards saving towards the house. We could put that towards a trip. But right now we're in the stage of saving or getting rid of debt. So we have that. And then at the end of the month, so today, we look at the beginning and we look to see how we did. We go through our bank accounts. We looked at our IRA. We look at all of our credit cards and stuff. We say, all right, did we do what we had allocated to? How much over? And we ended up earning more than we had expected, and so we actually had more surplus, which we could put towards debt and a little bit more towards the house. Also, this past month was when I released my book, so we've had some revenue in that, and I'm excited to increase that, and I'm going to be going towards having it published. So I'm going to be contacting quite a few publishers and trying to get that published. And I think if people enjoy that book, I know that I wrote the book because I wanted it to exist, not because I wanted to sell it, not because I wanted it necessarily to become a bestseller. And I think that if people read that book like, this could change my life, that it could. And that's why I would want it to become a bestseller, is to get it out into more people's hands such that they're looking at this like, this is something that could change my life. So that's why I'm going to try to get it out to a publisher and help them market it with me. I would love to be able to change lives by doing that, and even making more books. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with all of you, and thank you. Lastly, whoever was at the Halloween dance, I would love for you to post some links or Instagram, whatever the hashtags were used. So I DJ'd for the first time for over 100 people and knocked that off my bucket list the other day, and I'm pretty excited. I dressed up as the Joker, and I'll post a picture here. But yeah, I would love to see a bunch of the pictures that some of the students that attended posted. So put in the comments, if you could, the hashtags that you used and or anything else. So yeah, that was my Sunday, and thanks for listening. Stay weird.